Hey guys, welcome back to another review, and today I am reviewing The Little Prince, starring Jeff Bridges, Mackenzie Foy, Rachel McAdams, Marion Cotillard, Riley Osborne, James Franco, and Albert Brooks, also starring Paul Rudd and Benicio del Toro. And this movie was directed by Mark Osborne and is about a little girl who lives in a very grown-up world with her mother who tries to prepare her for adulthood. Her neighbor, the aviator, no, not that one, introduces the girl to a world where anything is possible. The story of you guessed it, The Little Prince. So, let's talk about positives. Okay. Let me scoot out. Okay, there we go. Okay, positives. Voice acting is very good. Obviously, Jeff Bridges is the standout. He is my favorite actor, so he would definitely be the standout for me. Mackenzie Foy was also really good in this one. She was in Interstellar and Ernest and Celeste. She was really good in both of those movies. All the voice actors are good, even though they're the two main ones that are in it more. Benicio del Toro has more of a cameo. He only has a couple lines of dialogue. He plays a snake. Let's just say that he wasn't as threatening as he was in Sicario, but he was still very good. James Franco voices a fox. He was really good in the movie. Everyone was really good in the movie. Alright, let's talk about the animation. It's really hard to talk about just one thing about it. One, it's basically two. It's stop motion and CGI. And the scenes that take place in the present are CGI, and the scenes that are actually about the prince is stop motion. I really liked how they added both. It added a lot of variety and made the other scenes better. The flashback scenes, or the scenes in the story of the Little Prince, are easily the best parts of the movie because of the animation style, the emotion, the way it's done, everything about the flashbacks or not really flashbacks, the story is excellent. The stuff in the present is very good, but I didn't find it as interesting as the actual stories of the Little Prince. So let's just say that. Okay, let's move on. Pacing. Okay, yeah, pacing's very. It's not a fast-paced movie, but it isn't a slow-paced movie. I like the fact that it was an animated family film that actually kind of took its time. Usually I don't like it when an animated movie just bombards with sensory overload and just is all over the place like Hotel Transylvania was. This one definitely takes its time and reminds me a lot more of the early days of Pixar, where they were not too fast but also not too slow. This movie reminded me a lot of the old Pixar. If you guys remember the old Pixar days, in my opinion, those were the best. Anything leading up to Toy Story 3, I thought were excellent. Now, Pixar still makes decent movies, don't get me wrong. I heard Inside Out and Coco were like really good, but I haven't seen those yet. But They don't capture the magic that the old ones did, the ones that were like from Toy Story to Toy Story 3. Those ones, I say, are the best Pixar has to offer, especially Finding Nemo. This movie reminded me a lot of that. Another thing I want to talk about, cinematography. The movie looks incredible. Like most live-action movies don't look this good. Like, there's so many good shots in this movie, and a great use of color as well. And I like the fact that the movie wasn't afraid to get sad. I'm not gonna lie, I teared up a couple times. I didn't bawl like a baby, but I teared up a couple times. It's a feel good movie. It's not a sad movie. It's feel goody. Okay, shut up. I'm hardcore. Shut up. I have a heart too. Anyway, so I highly recommend this movie. It's on Netflix. It's a bummer. It's a Netflix original, which means since I canceled my Netflix subscription, which, yes, I know Mank came out a couple days ago. No one really gives a crap about this movie anymore. There are barely any reviews of it, but I don't have my Netflix subscription anymore because of a film that I shall not name. So any Netflix movie that has just recently came out, I'm not going to review until awards season when I get my subscription back. So, yeah, if you still have your Netflix account after the controversy, you should check this one out, like I did after I heard we were losing it. So, and this movie was recommended to me, so I thought, why not? And I'm so glad I did, because it's very, very good. And I also have to talk about Hans Zimmer's score. It's really good. Should have been nominated for an Oscar, in my opinion. Oh boy, dog's barking. Yeah, that's about it about that. And I do think this movie should have been nominated for Best Animated Feature. I think it's probably the best one I've seen in 2016, or was it 15 when this one came out? I think it was 16. But I think this was way better than any animated movie that came out this year, including Zootopia. So, yeah, this movie's really that good. Okay, let's talk about... Alright, there's one more thing I wanted to talk about. There's my favorite segment, probably the segment with the fox. It had the best emotion in it, and the best shots in the movie, and the best voice acting. Also, I really like what do you call it? There was another one. I like how dark it got at times. My second favorite segment probably has to do with The Aviator. You know, not Leonardo DiCaprio, Jeff Bridges. Okay. Now, let's talk about my negatives, because there are a few I have. One, the movie is a bit too long. It feels like it's like 10 minutes too long. If it was 10 minutes shorter, it probably would be better. I probably would give it an A+ if it was like 10 minutes longer, but shorter. I feel like the last 40 minutes or so feel very uneven. Like the first hour and a half or so was very grounded in reality a bit, even though there were fantasy elements, they weren't overdone. The last 50 minutes of this movie kind of throw all reality out the window, and it just becomes a cartoon. So the last 40 minutes are not as strong as the first two acts. So let's just say that's really all my negatives I have with the movie. Okay, so in conclusion, Little Prince is a really good movie. I should have reviewed this over Legend of Hercules, and I'm gonna give it an A, and is a instant classic in my opinion. Okay, so if you like this review, give it a like. So if you've seen The Little Prince, what did you think about it? And if you like this review, give it a like, and I will see you guys tomorrow.